Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, welcome my students in this virtual classroom. I'm very happy to be with you now. The class today is for first secondary stage subject, which is our interesting subject, English language. Semester is second one. Lesson, the second lesson, the module number 1B, keep in touch, and Traveler 2. We have here some objectives of the lesson. You have to be careful about that. Number 1 is read about communication in the past and future. We will focus on communication. Use some, here we have some phrases related with or related to communication. Also, the last goal is practice past simple and using used to, how to use this role. So, inshallah, together we are going to cover all these goals here. Here is a warming up here. As you see here, do you see the internet to keep in touch with friends and family? This is a question for you, and you can give me your opinion. Do you use the internet to keep in touch? Yes, of course. With friends and family? Yeah. So the second question here, how did people used to communicate in the past? So nowadays, people communicate with each other by internet, by technology. But what about in the past? How did people use to communicate in the past? Okay, good. By meeting each other. Yes, this is one way to communicate each other. Wonderful. Okay, here we have a reading section. Read the text and compare the information in it with your answers. So you have your own answer. You have to make comparison between your answer and the information here in this dialogue. Okay, now you will listen and see, watch, okay, to the video here. You have to listen.
From the letterbox to the inbox. In the good old days, friends used to visit you when you were unwell. These days, you'll probably just receive a virtual get well card. A few decades ago, people wrote letters, visited, or called each other regularly to keep in touch. Then the internet appeared, and communication was never the same again. With emails, net users can communicate with each other by sending and receiving emails instantly, while online phone calls are another option, whether you live next door or on the other side of the world. It doesn't take time to contact your friends or family. It just takes a few clicks of the mouse. Also, until very recently, people had to print their holiday pictures and display them in albums. Now you can attach the pictures to an email and send them. It's easy to keep in touch with friends online, but when it comes to receiving gifts, real ones are better than virtual ones.
Okay, so here you have to compare between your opinion and the information here. Now we will move to next slide here. Read again the answer and the questions. Question for you, my students here. Question number 1. What changed communication in recent years? Can you answer? What changed communication communication in recent years. By what? Okay. The second one is, how can net users communicate with each other? How? How can net or internet users communicate with each other? The third one is it slow to contact friends who live in or live far away online or no? The last question here, where did people use to keep their photos? Okay, so I will show you the answer. The first one is the internet. The number two, the way through emails or online calls, or like us now by virtual classroom. We contact and communicate with you by virtual classroom. Okay, here isn't slow to contact friends who live far away online. No, it isn't. And where did people used to keep their photos? In albums. Okay, good. Shall we move to next slide? Here, look at the highlighted words in the text and choose the correct meaning, A or P. We have two choices. You have to choose one of them. Number one, regularly, usually or suddenly, instantly, soon or immediately, online, on the phone or on the internet, display, take, or show. Okay, what about the first one? The first one is regularly means usually, instantly, immediately, online, on the internet, and display, the same meaning of show. Okay, here we are going to vocabulary phrases related to communication. Read the sentences below and match the phrases in bold with the definition from or A to G. From A to G. So the first one is you have to write down in the text, in the chat zone here, you can write the correct answer. I left university last year, but I try to keep in touch with people through email. This is number one. Two, give me call when you get home. Okay. I left a message for Dave, but he has not returned my call. I'm not sure what my cousin is up to. We have lost touch. I'm sorry, I haven't written to you. I promise to drop you in a line soon. Can I have a word with you before the meeting starts? The last one is, I sent a letter to Joe, but I didn't receive a reply. So here, this is the correct answer for those of these phrases here. So number one, go directly with this one. A, to communicate or continue to communicate. And B, phone someone. C, a phone someone because they phoned you. And the next here, stop communication. Send a short letter or note. And speak to someone for a short time. And the last one is get an answer. So this is the correct answer, my student, here for this exercise or activity. Here we have a grammar. We have here, you know, we talked more than one time about past simple. Read the example and match them with the uses of the past simple. Okay, so here we will talk about past simple. Something happened in the past. We have two ways. Okay, yes. Called, had, wrote, was, were. Excellent, Ala. Wonderful. So we have here regular verbs and we have irregular verbs. Irregular verbs, you just add ed. Is that right or no? Just add what? Ed for the verb. For example, here, be, call, you add what? Okay, you add just here, called, ed. And here, write, this is irregular verb. So, here we write wrote, this is the past. Have, had, and be, here, was, and where. I will show you the answer here. And also here we have two sentences. It's related with A and B. The internet appeared and communication was never the same again. A few decades ago, people wrote letters. So A goes with the second sentence. A few decades ago, people wrote letters. Okay, habitual and repeated action in the past. And also we have here an action that happened at a specific time in the past. So we have two uses to use the past simple. Okay, now we will go to the third one, which is grammar. We will focus in this grammar about used to. We have a lot of uses for used to. Read the example below and choose the correct meaning A or B. Before that, I will display, okay, a video for you, and you have to understand what it's about. So it's about used to, but you have to figure out what's the meaning of that used to. Okay, listen now.
Used to.
Go ahead.
When do we use used to? To describe something we did in the past, but don't do now. How do we structure used to in an affirmative sentence?
Subject plus used to plus verb. I used to play tennis.
How do we structure used to in a negative sentence?
Subject plus didn't plus used to.
In negative sentences, we say used to and not used to.
Plus verb. They didn't used to study.
How do we structure used to in an interrogative sentence?
Did plus subject plus used to.
In interrogative sentences, like in negative sentences, we say used to and not used to.
Plus verb. Did she used to be vegan?
Okay, so this is the end of the video here. Okay, so here in this video talked about how to use the word used to. Here we have here friends used to visit you when you were unwell. Is it A, friends visited you when you were unwell in the past and still do so today, or friends visited you when you were unwell in the past but they don't anymore? So what is the appropriate question or appropriate sentence for used to? The second one is correct one. Okay, shall we move to practice number 4? Here is very important because we will apply our grammar today. It's about past simple. Here we have a lot of way to write in past simple. We have question, we have negative, and we have sentences. So yes, excellent. The first one, did you call Faisal about tomorrow? I will show you the answer here. The first one is, the answer is the yellow red or yellow color, sorry. Did you call Faisal about tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow? We talked. Okay, we add here ed because talk is regular verb. About this yesterday, when we were be on the bus. So where here you can write was or where, it depends on the subject. If the subject he, she, it, you can write was. I told, yes, still here as irregular verb, so you have to write in irregular verbs. I told you all about it. Sorry, I couldn't. Okay, hear you very well on the bus. It was. You see here, it was. So B, you have to replace with was and were in the past. Quite noisy. But you didn't say. If you'd like to make sentence, would like to make negative for the sentence, you have to add what did plus not and past form for the verb. Didn't see anything. Look, I'm sorry. Okay, let's talk about it again. So this is the first part for the past tense. What about here? The second section, complete with correct form of, okay, yes, you can replace it and the past could. Yeah, sometime in some way. Yes, of course. So here we have used to, the verbs in the box. Here we have be, not drank, play, or play, sleep, call, send. Okay, I will show you the correct answer here. I used to play computer games when I was a teenager, but I'm bored of them now. Number 2, here we have a question, so you have to start with did. Did you, because is it past simple? Did you use to send a lot of emails when you were at university? Number 3, if you'd like to make negative sentence, I didn't use to drink. I didn't use to drink here, past form, because we have here did. Water all time, all. But now I try to have 8 classes a day. What about number 4? Harry used to sleep for 10 hours a night, but now he doesn't. What about number 5? The baby's hair used to be marked or dark brown, but now is it fair? The last one, my teacher used to call me Smithy at what? School. So here we focus on how to use the word used to. Sometimes we write it as used to with ed or d. Sometimes we use just without d. Okay, here we have the end of our lesson today. Here we have a summary for our lesson. Okay. Here we have a summary for our lesson today. 1B, keep in touch, chapter 2. We talked about 3 things. Read about communication in past and future, and also use some phrases related to communication, like keep in touch. Last one is practice past simple and using used to. Okay, so this is the summary for our lesson today. The title is Keep in Touch. Goodbye, my students. Bye-bye.